Hello guys and welcome to another video. So in 2022 we have a lot of new wheels announced, and the two ones that excite me the most are the KingSong S20 and the Begode EX2S. These two wheels look really similar, so I'm gonna compare spec by spec, give a point to the winner of each, and hopefully at the end of the video we can decide which one is the winner. So design-wise, the S20 and the EX2S look really similar, except for the color. They both decided to use a skeleton shape with the battery around the skeleton and then the essential parts of the wheel around that. It gives the wheel some kind of mechanical and industrial look and feel. The suspension on the back is quite exposed, and you have some kind of modular pads on the side. And on top of the wheel you have the seat and the trolley. The S20 went for a red and black color, and the EX2S went for a full black color. I remember the early prototypes of the EX2S were white, and thankfully they decided to go full black. I find the design of this wheel quite interesting. It's really different from what we used to see before. The concern I have with that design is that during a crash, I'm not sure how the wheel will fare, especially for the suspension part on the back. I will have to see the wheel and confirm how solid the rear parts, like the suspension parts, are, because they are quite coming out in the back, and during a crash they're gonna receive an impact, that's for sure. So I would like to confirm that the rear suspension is quite solid and can handle a crash or multiple crashes. Color-wise, I prefer the black of the EX2S. I'm not a big fan of the red, but on the EX2S, when you look at the wheel from the side, it looks like a stepper, I have to say. So it's also a bit weird, but overall, like, I'm just joking, like overall, both of these wheels are really beautiful. However, I'm gonna give the point to the S20. Why? Because S20 went first with that design, EX2S came after, so even though both of the wheels are great, I'm gonna give the point to the S20 for now. So what about of the suspension of these wheels? Begode EX2S went with the traditional air shock suspension, kind of inspired by the S18. So it's kind of an evolved version of the S18 suspension. You pump the air based on your weight and you go for a ride. For the S20, they are using a spring suspension kind of inspired by the motorcycles. I'm not sure how this fares. On the paper it looks better. It looks to fare better than the air shock suspension. The problem with springs is that they need to match your weight. So if your weight doesn't match the spring, then the suspension is not gonna feel good with you. But as long as the spring matches your weight, it's great. Suspension wise, both of these wheels seems to deliver so far as I'm looking at the specs. So I'm gonna give a point to both of these wheels. So battery-wise, what do we got? On the KingSong S20 we have a 2220 Wh battery. So that's kind of like a standard type of battery you have on the medium range wheel. I'm quite surprised that for a 2022 wheel we got such a low battery. I mean, it's okay to have this on a battery, like the Gotway Nikola or RS have 1800 battery. So the KingSong S20 has more battery than this, and it's way enough for daily commuting or daily small rides. It's just that I would have liked to have more, but it's good enough. It's great. It's still fine, I think, to be honest. It's not a huge problem. On the Begode EX2S, we got a whopping 3600 Wh battery. That's kind of the type of battery you got on a Monster Pro or a Commander. It's huge. Like, if you want to do long range ride, or if you don't want to charge every day, it's fantastic. Honestly, the battery of the EX2S is like the #1 strong point of the wheel. So obviously, regarding range and battery, I'm gonna give the point to the EX2S. According to KingSong specs, the S20 can go up to 70 km per hour, which is like more or less 43 miles per hour. It's a 126 volt wheel, so it's supposed to have a high speed plus a high torque combined in one wheel, which is really great. The EX2S, on the other hand, is proposed in two versions. The high torque wheel with a C38 high torque motor. So the high torque motor traditionally goes up to 38 miles per hour. So it's quite inferior versus the S20. However, lately Begode announced a high-speed version of the wheel, and I saw a free spin video. It could go up to 102 kilometers per hour, which is like 63 miles per hour. So this type of speed is quite impressive. It's the same type of speed you got on the Commander or the Monster Pro. Obviously, if you take the high speed, the EX2S becomes the fastest suspension wheel you can find, on par with the Monster Pro and the Commander, faster than the Sherman. It's really impressive. So I'm gonna give the point to the EX2S just because of the high speed version. So what else do we got in terms of extra features for each of these wheels? On the EX2S side, we have a seat at the top, we have a trolley handle, we have front light, 4 small front lights. It's kind of like a new design compared to their previous wheels. We have a rear backlight that is, I think, attached to the rear side of the seat. We have CNC spiked pedals, like the typical Begode CNC spiked pedals. I really like them. And we have a kickstand. In terms of water resistance, I didn't see any mention, so I can't say anything about it for now. So I think that's it for the EX2S. Regarding the S20 in terms of features, we have a kickstand that is fully integrated. The wheel has also a display screen, which the EX2S doesn't have. On top of the wheel there is the seat also. On the side, power pads, and KingSong also offers spiked pedal with the wheel. In terms of features, I'm gonna give the point to the S20 because the S20 has the display screen, which the EX2S doesn't have. Also, in terms of QC, I'm gonna trust more KingSong on this one compared to the Begode EX just because of historical issues that we had with Begode. I'm not saying the EX2S doesn't have a better quality compared to the previous wheel, but by looking at the specs, I'm just gonna give the point to the S20 in terms of extra features. So we have 3 points for the S20 and 3 points for the EX2S, so it's a draw between these two electric unicycles. To me, this result is obvious because in 2022, you can't really go wrong by choosing the S20 or the EX2S. The performance will be fantastic. It really depends now on the small things you judge important and depending on the need also that you have when you want a new wheel. Whichever EUC you get, you will be satisfied in my opinion. I hope you enjoyed this comparison of the EX2S versus the S20. I think it was needed because these two wheels really look alike. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I see you next time.